All right. On 31 through 34, we are factoring. Factoring is what we just finished. Right before we took the ACT Aspire, we did a little bit more when we were solving after, but we factor out the GCF, we factor trinomials, we factor difference of two squares. Okay, so we have basically one of each. We have a GCF, a trinomial, a difference of two squares, and a GCF and a trinomial. This is your semester test. We're not going to pick the hardest problems to factor. So you should have pretty easy ones to factor. They're not difficult. They're not huge numbers. You don't even have to do bottoms up on these. So consider yourselves lucky. 31 has two terms. What do they have in common? Well, 3 goes into 3 and 3 goes into 21. So we're going to take out a 3. Okay? And then they don't, this has an X, this doesn't. But they both have Y. So I'm going to take out a Y. And then remember, you can just divide these by your GCF to figure out what goes inside. So 3's cancel, Y's cancel, so you're just left with X squared. And then over here, 21 divided by 3 is 7, and your Y's cancel. Check it. Distribute it back. If it works, then you know you did it right. 3y times x squared is 3x squared y. 3y times 7 is 21y. So I know I factored it correctly. So this one, all this one had was a GCF. Okay? 32 is a trinomial. There is not a number in front, so we don't have to do bottoms up. We take our C value. We're looking for factors of negative 12. Okay? Remember, you can go to your calculator. Negative 12 divided by x. And go second table, and we want to find the pair that's going to give me negative 1. So we want it to multiply to give me negative 12, but we want it to add to give me negative 1. Where did I get negative 1 from? Right here. Okay, so I'm going to go through. You can write them all down or you can just look, but right here I have negative 4 times 3. That equals negative 12, and negative 4 plus 3 equals negative 1. Okay, so I've got the right numbers. And then all you have to do is put them in and you're done, because we didn't do bottoms up. So that's it. You're done. Again, distribute that if you need to. Okay, do what you did up here on 28 through 30 and double check it. Make sure it works. Okay, I'll do it just to show you how you can check it. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Negative 4 times x, negative 4x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. These can be put together. So x squared minus 1x minus 12. And look, it matches. Okay? Now, this is the answer. Okay? This is the check. So don't put this as your answer. This is the answer. Okay? All right, 33 has two terms. It's a perfect square minus a perfect square. So it's the reverse of 29. So look at 29. Perfect square minus perfect square. It has two sets of parentheses. The square root of this goes in the front. The square root of this goes in the back. So take x squared, split it up, x and x. Square root of 16 is 4. So you put plus 4 and minus 4. Doesn't matter which one goes where. Just one needs to be positive, one needs to be negative. Easy peasy. All right, 34. This has GCF and it's like these two problems put together. You got to do the GCF and then you're going to do this. Okay, so what do they all have in common? Well, they are all even, so we can take out a 2. And they all have x's. That has x cubed, that has x squared, and that has an x. So the most amount of x's I can take from all three of them is just an x, because I can only take one from this one. So I take that out. Divide all of them if you need to. Okay, those cancel. We're taking one x out, so that's x squared. 8 divided by 2 is 4. You're taking one x out, so you have x. And negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5, and you took out all your x's. Okay, so we've taken out the GCF, and now we've got a problem to factor just like we did on 32. So there are two sets of parentheses. Don't forget to bring down your GCF. I'm going to go ahead and put my x's in. And I'm looking for factors of -5, and I want them to add to give me 4. Okay? So, I mean, the only factors of -5 are 1 and -5 and -1 and 5. Which one of those give me +4? -1 plus 5. So, -1 plus 5. And you're done. That's it. Okay?